Gyro's fine against Naga carry, maybe not amazing, but fine. I'm a little worried for complexity because Fnatic picks Centaur, because Ohio is one of the best Centaur players in the world. I genuinely think he's definitely top 3 offlaners in my book out of all the players.
So who would be also? I mean, Ice has got to be in that top 3.
Yeah, I'd probably say Ice. I would say Zai as well. I think Universe is very, very good, but maybe a little bit behind that. But Universe is, it's hard to say. Universe is super good too, and he plays better utility off lanes, I feel.
That's true. There is just a difference in that.
Yeah, Ohio's like a gank off lane. Like, he is the best gank off lane, I think.
Yeah, I mean, when I first started seeing Ohio really, when he started really rocking my world, was that Nature's Prophet with his like TP first, put wards down, just the way he plays the hero, much more aggressive, gank oriented, support the other lanes rather than the more bulldog kind of split pushy style.
I don't even think I've caught that him playing Prophet. I know he does
has a Prophet set.
I haven't watched.
He's serious, man. So Dragon Knight, final pick for Fnatic. That'll be their mid laner for Mushi. Very, pretty tanky team here for Fnatic outside of that of the Crystal Maiden. So they've got some sieging power now.
I think that's smart against a Razor as a carry, because Razor is a medium damage carry. He doesn't do a massive amount of damage. A Venomancer is not expected at all. This is a push lineup.
Whoa.
Who's going to get the mech? Is it Enigma or is it Razor?
I think probably the Enigma, now that Ziz is taking the Razor, though.
So mid Veno, I'm guessing.
Yeah, Swindle will take the Veno. Okay, this was really different from Complexity. And, you mentioned during the draft in Game 1 of this second heat here that this is a time where Complexity has the luxury of being able to experiment a little bit because there's less pressure. Now that they already won a game in this series, they are completely safe. There's no chance of them not being top 4. So if they lose this game, it's really not the end of the world. So perhaps this is part of some of that experimentation. We have not seen much Veno this tournament. I'm honestly not quite sure what to make of this final pick Veno.
It's kind of bad versus Centaur because he can just ult through Gale. So even if you Gale somebody pre-BKB, it doesn't counter you in that way. But this is definitely a very good push lineup, I think. Tusk can initiate with a Blink Dagger. If things go bad, you can always Song, and it's really important when you have a push lineup, because if things go bad and you get 5-man wiped, often that's the advantage you've been working for all game. So I think the Naga fits into this pretty well. Enigma's great at pushing, Veno's good at pushing, Razor's good at pushing.
Look at this. Ohio buys a smoke and sentry wards as well as observers straight away.
He is there so fast.
So I'm glad I brought up that Nature's Prophet TP into the jungle, because he'll go teleport level 1 and put very aggressive wards down. And these are atypical spots to block out the camp and try and slow down this Enigma. Sentry ward here, and then just some vision into the mid.
Too? That is really mean. All of these wards will block, and these are pretty good spots too. The one on the high ground over by the large camp is great. The sentry in the medium camp might get denied, but they're checking for camps. They didn't find anybody. They even put their observer on the high ground. Oh, it's within vision. They can kill this if they get vision of it. I don't know if they can. They might have to be higher.
Vital breakout. They bump right into Mushi. This is an easy first blood. The ice shards from Tusk completely block him out. And it will be the Naga Siren that gets the bonus gold. So, well, started off as a great start for Fnatic, but Complexity, they make up for it with the first blood.
Fnatic was ready to fight that. Johnny got a 4-man decay. He's like, let's fight. I'm ready. I'm going to hit you guys for 78 damage, and I'm going to keep decaying. But that ice shards, it just completely said, all right, rumble time, baby.
Yeah, pretty good spell, that ice shards.
So he actually loses gold there, because that's all unreliable. So his bottle is now delayed. He went 2 Ironwood branches.
Oh, my. That's
actually a huge kill.
Wow. This is going to be rocky for Mushi. Dragon Knight's one of those heroes that delayed bottle is pretty costly. He will be able to get this bounty rune, and they will de-ward this. So that'll give Complex a little bit of intel that there is a sentry inbound. They'll know it's blocking this camp, but still Fnatic get an observer ward out of it, so not all bad.
Will Z-Freak go from aggressively jungle?
Ketchukimba blocked out by ice shards again. Moon will at least be able to get some good right clicks in and win this right click battle. Flies on his way as well. He's going to be able to kill him. Oh, this is so great. Complexity off to an amazing start this game, Purge.
That seemed like a pretty big mistake there from Crystal Maiden. Not only did he miss his Nova on 2, he could have gotten Frostbite, and now he can't even jungle with Frostbite because he grabbed Crystal Nova. I mean, he's aggressively trying laning and all, but now he can't even get that free experience. I think that was just a huge mess up there. Like, he got blocked in, could have just frostbit him, waited a second and a half, and then ran straight left. But he tried to Nova both, and maybe Moon blocked him or something like that. I'm not quite sure, but that seemed like a weak play from Crystal Maiden and put him in a bad spot. Fly might actually die here.
He's in a lot of trouble. Johnny, he'll have another decay in about 4 seconds, but not going to be able to do it. Now Moon Meander with another set of beautiful ice shards blocks out KYXY, and what started as a lot of damage onto Fly ends up being a pretty even exchange. Moon wants this, tanks most of the rocket barrage. Okay, Crystal Nova will finish him off. Fly might still be able to find the recovery kill. He does have a movement speed edge, but just can't quite close the gap. Now he's on the run. It's overcommitment after overcommitment here.
Yeah, Fly ends up staying alive at least, but I thought he was going to be able to get that kill because he has boots, but the Nova just completely slowed him down.
Yeah, smart play from Z-Freak here, though, seeing all of his camps blocked out. Not too many choices, but he will rotate into the enemy jungle Ohio, killing a couple Eidolons. Well, more than a couple, actually. The entire pack of Eidolons.
They were almost dead, though, so it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's still level 1 on Enigma, so this is very tough. Yeah. Trading in an off lane for a forward position is not terrible, though. He's going to come forward and, yeah, deny from his creeps. I like this a lot, because it's not like he wants to steal last hits from the Razor, and it's a weaker push, and he killed the range creep. So this wave will now push. He's going to be contested by the by the Centaur, but he's able to get his farm.
Okay, so this aggro tri-lane from Fnatic off to an okay start. They got that first kill, and this Jaro is farming pretty nicely, but it's only a Tusk here, so I think Moon's okay with not getting a huge amount of farm out of this lane if it means that the Enigma can farm nicely, their off-lane Razor will be able to get some farm, and so far so good in the mid lane for Swindle. He is out farming the DK by just a couple of creeps.
He's a much bigger threat as well, because every time that Mushi comes up, he can just Gale him like this, and he's got 2 points into it. Gale is one of the best scaling magic damage spells in the entire game. It does tons of damage. At level 4, it does something like 500 or 600 magic damage for a basic skill.
Wow,
it's amazing. Because every 3 damage you take a proc, so you take like 5 of those. It's like 500 or 600 damage. It's incredible.
Okay. Yeah, Venom mid. I'll be curious to see what build Swindle goes for. Venom's one of those heroes that if he gets an early Midas can really ball out of control. If he can stay and item up, up top, hold that thought that was Fly initiated on again. Tombstone comes out. Zombie's doing a lot of work here. Good work with those mirror images, but it's not enough. Ketchy Kimbo will secure the kill. And that'll be another one on the scoreboard here for Fnatic.
Man, I thought he was going to make that. As you use mirror image, you go invulnerable for a period of time. So he created some confusion. Yeah, almost made it there. So level 5 with Benno. He just wanted the 2 points in Gale. That way he could harass Mushi a bit. Normally you see the max ward build. It's very, very common on Benno mid. But I guess he just wanted slightly more offensive potential versus Mushi. But he's actually dealing with it quite well. Dragon Blood makes a big difference. He's got that free 2 health regen to start things off.
Yeah. So anyhow, if Venno can get that item advantage up against the opposition, man, an early Blink Aghanim, the damage output can be nuts if you can get it before like a pipe comes out or something like that.
And even if they have BKB on a hero like Dragon Knight, as soon as the BKB ends, the Venomancer ulti starts ticking again. So they buffed it a couple times so it can actually apply through that. Right. It just doesn't do the damage while you're magic immune. Yeah,
no longer cleanses it. That's the big thing. Ohio doing some crafty plays here though, Perch. He's pulling this creep wave into the jungle so that he'll find some place to farm.
I think he just did this because he wanted to go get the rune as well and not miss out on experience. He just brought the wave with him for later.
Okay.
Just a little creep snack.
Not a bad way to do it.
Yeah.
And a little farm for himself. Swindle's in a lot of trouble here. Catching him wrapped around the backside, and it's an easy pick off there on the Venomancer.
He actually got spotted out by Nagastein, but I guess they just assumed that they wouldn't wait that long for the kill, but they stuck out the hold and they get it. And that's one of the problems with Venom mid, is that you're very vulnerable to ganks, and sometimes you get ganked too much and it really affects your game. But if you do have a good game in the mid game, or in the mid lane, you can kind of get insanely farmed on Venom. So these ganks are super important.
Yeah, how's our Enigma doing here? Halfway through level 4. Z-Freak definitely not juggling as quickly as you, or as well as you would expect, but that's kind of a byproduct of all of his camps being blocked out and having to play around with this Centaur who's constantly been leeching his XP and killing off these Eidolons pretty much whenever possible. I feel like Ohio's done a pretty good job keeping tabs on Z-Freak, maximizing his farm, and not giving this Enigma any undue space.
Ooh, and they're going to set up a gank on him here. They put the ward down so they block the large camp and see where he's farming. Ohio goes to the tower, so it's not too obvious. Are they going to try to get Razor? They could. He's at about 600 HP, but the damage isn't that high. Level 1 Double Edge, level 2 Hoof Stomp, and level 1 skills in both the CM's abilities. I think the best kill is Enigma here, but they've just got to find him. They see the Eidolons, I think.
Oh, this is the opportunity they've been waiting for. Z-Freak goes one way, Ketchy Kimbo's right there, sets it up for Ohio, connects with his combo, and that'll be the rotation to finish him off. Now a killing spree for this Crystal Maiden. Ziz comes in, he's going to leech a lot of damage here, up to plus 56, plus 70, plus 84. He just needs one more auto attack. He can't quite do it. Should he turn? He gets the little zombie. And he's going down. He just needs to try and run for it. Double Edge won't let it happen.
Yeah, he almost got away and was able to salve there, but unfortunately the Enigma just ate it pretty much. Maybe if he had a Midnight Pulse, he could have lived there by breaking the trees and just getting out of there, but that was a really nice executed gank, and they're reading their opponents. But on the bright side, at 6 minutes, Enigma can now shift to his jungle because any wards that have been placed in their jungle are gone. So his levels are behind where they should be. Normally you can hit 6 minutes at about, or level 6 at 4.5 minutes, but he's going to be able to catch up now and farm whatever items his team needs.
Yeah, especially on Dire's side, if Enigma is just left completely unchecked to his own devices, he should be able to farm at the same rate as the mid laners, if not a little bit faster, depending on how many rotations come towards the mid lane. So, all things considered, Z-Freak handling himself very well here. Level 5 has the Soul Ring and a smoke, so he'll be ready to rotate as soon as he gets that black hole and look to find a kill somewhere.
Ohio TPing in the mid lane to sap his fast level 6. They'll go for a smoke on Mushi as well as Crystal Maiden. And 2 points in aura here, so a normal Crystal Maiden. Are they trying to get another kill on the Razor? This would be really big. They're ganking so much better than Complexity is this game.
Yeah, absolutely. They are holding on, Complexity holding on to a very minor gold edge, but you'd expect it to be a lot more when you have a dedicated jungler. Yep, snowball forward, KYXY, cues up the call down, will connect on both. Both will hit, but it's taking all that damage. Just a few more whips. Oh, they're too slow. They can't do it. CM's here. Maybe they can turn. Frostbite now right into the Rocket Barrage. Mushi will finish him off with a Breathe Fire. Moon Meander on the run. Mushi looking for the Dragon Tail. Can he close the gap?
He's thinking about,
he's got
caught.
The gap has been closed.
Snowball.
Oh, can they turn this under the tower? Moon with limited options here. He does have a Walrus Punch. There it is, but Mushi just a bit too tanky as that Dragon Knight. They'll get a few kills out of me on the top lane. Johnny and Fly going blow for blow. Fly on the run. Will the Naga be able to slither away back to safety? It looks like it. The stick charge is just barely enough. He's got a couple zombies left, but he'll turn, finish them off, and he will live.
Yeah, Johnny maybe could have chased that and gone for the last decay, but it was so dangerous. And as soon as he backed off, Fly easily survives. If he would have gone for that kill, he may have ended up feeding one, and probably not worth it in the end. So, very wisely, Z-Freak shifting out of the jungle now, going to try to push the top tower because there's so much stuff going on bottom. He doesn't need to AFK farm right now, he needs to push the lane while farming. So, very important that he does this.
Yeah. So, who's going for the mech here? I don't see much mech progression on either side quite yet. 8 minutes in, this is around the time when Enigma having a good time in the jungle should be able to be either completing the mech or just on the verge of grabbing it. They will, however, group up and push the tier 1 in the top lane with Black Hole at the ready. And here comes Fnatic. They want to defend. Mushi does not have Elder Dragon form, but he's got the Invis rune on. They don't see it. They go run for Z-Freak. Dragon Tail to get things started. Johnny comes in. There's your 2. But Black Hole on 3. Z-Freak taking a lot of damage, but doing a lot in return. Unfortunately for Complexity, they just don't have the damage. It's a 2-0 in favor of Fnatic.
They do get the tower, though. Enigma getting the last hit on that. That's almost worth it, and they defend their own, so it's very close to being worth it. If Ziz would have been able to escape there without getting caught, they would have been absolutely fine, but he went for the tombstone and their damage was gone, and he needed it just back. He might have just been committed to getting slowed, and there was no survival for him, so they just lost their damage. Maybe the mistake there, Swindle Mounds TP'd out of within vision range, and because of that, Fnatic immediately went top to defend, because they knew they could get the swing, so maybe you could criticize him for that. It gave too much information.
Yeah, now they will pressure the tier 1 up top. Looks like Complexity will just let it fall. They glyph it, but it will be a tower for tower exchange, though. Right there, Complexity down in the bottom lane. They make it a 2-for-1 around the map with superior positioning. Very nicely played there, and they're already pressuring the tier 1 here in the mid lane. Naga Illusions will intercept the creep wave, and they'll do what little damage they can before Fnatic react.
They're actually just fully split pushing them right now. They're playing really well. Stampede
used very defensively here. Ohio thinking that he was in danger. We'll just use it to make sure he doesn't get caught out.
He was actually completely fine, but I don't know if they sensed the rotation. If they thought the rotation from mid would have been there or not.
Well, they're just lacking on vision right now, so you can kind of understand why he was nervous. They've got
like they're there.
They're somewhere in this general vicinity. They've got this ward here that gave them that little bit of intel to know that there are people nearby. Snowballs in. Yep, on the Catchy Gimba.
One more hit.
Will he get it? No, the Frostbite's there. He punches. All right, there's the kill. They'll just go for this tombstone as well as the tier 1 tower. Though up top, some split pushing from Fnatic. Looks like Mushi and KYXY will secure this tier 2.
I actually do kind of like the mirror image to kill zombies, because it's just more things that can take zombies and kill them. That's kind of cool. Extra attack points, basically. Mid tower looks like it's going to go down afterwards. They did lose their tier 2 top. Mushi TPing back. He's still got a lot of dragon form. This is looking scary for Complexity. Oh, great stun on top of Swindle Melons. Fly's thinking about ulting, but he's holding it together.
Swindle does have an ulti here as well. He could connect on all 3 if they want to burn it. There's the call down. Connects on 2, and good call. They'll use the song for this one. I think Swindle's just going to TP home. Fly does not have a TP, but should still be able to make it out.
Oh, Enigma gets a kill on Centaur? What?
Okay, well that was...
I guess so, with Moon Meander's help. Yeah, it looks like they did a full combo. He didn't black hole that or anything.
No, it's still on cooldown from before, so...
Alright, so level 8 now on Z-Freak. He's got 1,800 gold. Does he go for the Blink? Does he go for the mech?
Oh, Midas Veno.
Does Razor make the mech? He's got an item coming. Gem on Fly. What an early gem.
11 minutes in. Yeah, no detection. They just... Or, pardon me, no Invis-Heroes. All they want is map control right now.
And I like Mushi's plan here. He says, we're having trouble defending split push. We're ahead, but we're still getting towers killed. I need a catch item, and it's going to be a Blink Dagger. So he's going to be able to just jump on the heroes he needs to go on, kill them right away. And the hero that he probably is going to want to kill at the start of the fights is going to be either Veno or Enigma. Yep. Maybe even Naga Siren to prevent the song.
Yeah, the Enigma definitely that likely candidate, though. Maybe the choice. Oh, yep, here it is. It's going on Z-Freak. He's got the 2 core pieces and just about 50 gold away from the recipe. So still a great mech timing despite that slow start.
So what does Ziz build? Probably BKB Rush, I think. There's a lot of magic damage on the enemy team.
Yeah.
Or, and Y is usually the other alternate to a mech. They're smoking around mid. Look ahead for the jungle, though. Look, they know exactly where Swindle Mountains is. There's literally a ward right there, and that is going to be an easy kill.
Poor Swindle. Yep, he's got this army of wards. They're all blended in with that Observer. And again, the Centaur falls in the bottom lane. The exact same combo. If only we could catch it here, Purge.
We suck. It was probably Snowball into Midnight Pulse. He didn't even use Malefice.
Like, didn't even use Black Hole.
Makes a lot of sense, though. I mean, Midnight Pulse does a huge amount of pure damage, so when Centaur's got a lot of HP, so they're able to reflect a lot. They do de-ward that Observer Ward, or it has died.
That is the perfect hero to keep killing, though. He's got a lot of unreliable gold, of course, pulling towards that Blink Dagger. It's the ideal time. Shut him down. Oh, Ziz dove in the mid lane. Nice ult from Ketchikimba. Ziz almost lives, but just not quite. Walrus Jin trying to find some more kills, but Moon can't quite do it alone. Z-Freak's here. He's got the Black Hole at the ready, but holy brown boots. KYXY locked out again. Moon Meander finding the ice shards to make this happen. A 1-for-1 now, and it's Complexity on the aggressive. Johnny moves into the flesh golem. Ice shards again, but don't quite block him out. Now the snowball in. Fly trying to get in place for the ensnare. Johnny actually turns to put on the boxing gloves. They don't cost him his life. He uses the soul rip, but just buys him a little bit of time. The rest of Complexity will converge. Swindle's there with the Venomous Gale to ensure that they get this kill. A 2-for-1 as Complexity turn it around.
Man, this early gem on Fly is doing so much work. I was curious how that Observer Ward died. If you have a gem on an illusion, they also can see the wards. So he just Manta splits or mirror images and sends his illusions across the map and checks all the spots. And he's killed all the Observer Wards that Fnatic has. And you saw from last game how Observer Ward and Vision, how much vision they want to play with.
This is Fnatic's vision right now. They've got nothing.
And that just makes it so much harder to avoid ganks and so much easier for Complexity to farm everywhere. The style they want to do, map control and to farm everything. Yeah, you'll lose somebody eventually due to smoke ganks, but everybody else is farming at the same time, so you don't lose that much advantage.
Yep. Complexity still kind of grouped up in the mid here. As long as they have this Black Hole available, they'll be looking to take a fight or at least be open to the idea that grouped up is 5 once more. Mech cooled down at the ready. This tier 2 tower will be under siege.
And it looks like they're doing the old wraparound. The full wraparound, actually. Oh, they're anticipating it from the left, so if they go all the way from the back, I mean, there's Plague Wards up, but the smoke's obviously going to put that.
Yep, Plague Ward's down. This is Complexity's vision right now, folks. They'll see it right away, though. Mushi blinks in, goes right on the Z-Freak with the Dragon Tail. Tombstone comes down, but saw the Siren, resets. Call down doing a lot of damage, forces Z-Freak to mech, but now they'll set up the Midnight Pulse. Black Hole should be on 2. That's right, Johnny and Mushi in a lot of trouble. Poison Nova to boot. Z-Freak dies first, but sets it up for his team to clean house.
Oh, they're swinging in.
The ultimate from Ketchikimba does a lot of damage, but the Poison Nova just brings them all too low. Complexity take heavy casualties, but they will just barely take the fight. Johnny lives.
Yeah, he's got an He's fine now.
Yep. Okay.
Maybe. Oh, is he not paying attention? Ooh, 7 HP.
Ooh. Okay. So 4 for 4. I thought that fight would go well for Complexity, but in the end, it's a break even.
It was a rough start. The cooldown hit everybody. They were forced to mech just to put them from like 30% HP to 50%. And the Black Hole is obviously great, but the opposite would have been awesome. If they were able to initiate like that before the cooldown happened, they would have been absolutely fine. But the CM's positioning was just amazing there. And the only reason they lost that fight was because the Veno ult was level 2 and it did so much damage. And that's one of the value out of the Midas is that if you get an Ags on Veno, it gives you an extra level of Aghanims, basically. But by buying the Midas, he gets farm, and he guaranteed that level 2 that did a huge amount of damage. 58 times 14. That's a massive amount of magic damage early on in this game.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And there's still no BKBs on the side of Fnatic, and none really that close. Mushi now has an Ogre Club, but no other pieces. KYXY went for the Sanj. She's going to go SNY instead of a BKB rush. So that Bovenova will do a hell of a lot of damage, as we saw in that last fight. Centaur does secure his Blink Dagger, though, during the aftermath. So that's a big pickup for Fnatic. And Swindle will go for the Aghanim Scepter. Point booster now with another 1,000 gold in the bank.
Well, I like what Ohio did here. He bought the Blink Dagger, and then he's like, oh, I can farm this creep wave, so he sells it back, that way his opponents don't see it. And then he goes back to purchase it again. Small little smart thing. But it's really good he has this. If you thought about how the last fight started, it was Dragon Knight blinking in first, stunning, and then he kind of had to back off because he got sapped. But if you have a Centaur with a blink as well, you can very seriously kill somebody, and preferably for them, the Naga Siren.
Yeah, that's a great point. Midnight Pulse comes down to try and delay the push at this tier 1 tower bottom. Fnatic have 4. There's Ohio just hanging out in the mid lane, perhaps trying to set up onto Swindle, but won't be the easiest kill. Now Fnatic will just back out. They force out a glyph, and
Dragon Knight's still TP'd. There he goes.
Where are they? Oh, okay, going on to the Swindle. There we go. So they'll finish off the Venomancer.
Got his ult off.
Yeah, but they don't finish off that tier 1 tower in the bottom lane. Is there...
I think he kills Centaur here, definitely. Centaur's dead. Mushi...
Is he?
He's got to bottle it right.
Oh, I think he's okay.
Okay,
right,
the bottle saves
helps.
him. Nicely done. They both got quite low, though.
Yep, still continuing to show off the power of the Venomancer. Now the second Midas for complexity. Ziz picked it up.
Okay. You know what? I like that a lot, because he's really far behind this game. He's died a lot. He's tanked a lot of ganks. He's not going mech, so that's not the obvious build. And a lot of times when they play tanky heroes like Razor or Viper, that can, I mean, Razor can obviously farm better than Viper, but usually, sometimes they build mech, or I'm sorry, the Midas immediately after the mech. That way they can guarantee their late game farm a bit better. And considering that they do play this playstyle where they farm super late, and they can definitely stop fights and stop pushes with Gem and Naga Siren, might as well aim for the bigger late game items, because all he's got to do is outcarry a gyro, and it's hard to do that with just the base items on Razor, especially when you're this far behind. So I think this is a good choice.
Sea Freak also holding on to a lot of gold. He's got about 2,800 right now, just brown boots mech. We'll see if he goes BKB, Blink, what his options are here.
Needs HP, that's for sure. It's only sitting on 967. Yeah. Pipe would be okay as well.
Oh, yeah.
Something, just general tanky items would be great.
I feel like BKB is just the play, though. That way you don't have to worry about the cooldown, don't have to worry about the Dragon Tail as much, or even the CM ulti. He can just charge in there and get off the black hole that he wants. Yeah,
and it's guaranteed because you can set it up with a Naga Sleep. He's going to guarantee... They'll wait to use the Naga Sleep if possible until 2 or 3 heroes are grouped.
Yeah.
And if they are, it's a guaranteed black hole, and the only thing that's going to mess it up is Dragon Knight on the outside, maybe a Centaur on the outside, or Crystal Maiden. So if he does get a BKB immediately afterwards, he guarantees a full duration black hole with level 4 Midnight Pulse, and that means dead heroes in most cases.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Catching Imba himself the Shadow Amulet, so the Glimmer Capes are starting to come about. Looks like Fly will be working on one of his own. He's now got his Cloak and about 1,300 gold pulled up. Fnatic grouping up his 5 in the mid lane here, though. They want to siege off the backside of this Elder Dragon form. And we'll see if Complexity mount a defense. They do have a black hole ready and waiting, though. Right now, Swindle is split pushing in the side lane. Still about 1,200 away from his Aghanims. I don't think Complexity really want to fight quite yet, if they don't have to.
Swindle is not TPing. So I think they're just going to defend and show the force here. There's the TP.
Okay.
No sleep from Naga.
Ohio's pretty far out of position now to take a fight, so Fnatic will just back out. And pretty easy defense from Complexity, honestly. They didn't even have to glyph, and tower stays standing. Now they smoke under the tower, and they'll try to bait with Swindle in the mid.
That might have gotten spotted by this Observer Ward, but I haven't seen any pings from Fnatic, and their movement seems like they didn't notice, so they would have had to have their camera on the ward positioning for them to see that.
It's a pretty small sliver in here that gives you the intel. Is it a smoke into Roche? It sure is.
Interesting.
Fnatic have absolutely no clue. Looking at their vision here, they have no way to confirm it, and they don't seem all that suspicious.
It's not the fastest because they don't have a medallion, but they do have Riptide, which is also -5 armor, so I guess this will actually die at a decent pace, and with the Plague Wards up, like, there's enough things holding the lanes back that I'm not sure that Fnatic will notice, but they do have a timing window. This is a slow Roshan, in my opinion.
Complexity are also pretty well suited to take a fight in the pit. Worst case, they can still always just Poison Nova, get a black hole, and do quite a bit of damage. And So it's not that easy for Fnatic to come in and just steal the Roche. Sure, they could try to put up a fight, but it would be a risk from their perspective as well. So seems it will pay off for Complexity. Roche will go down, and they give that Aegis the Immortal to their Razor. Janita, as he is still rather squishy.
I don't think Fnatic knew about that. Maybe they did, because as they approach Roche Pit, a sleep could really guarantee a 5-man black hole or something. And there's the BKB on Enigma, absolutely obvious. He doesn't need to go for a Blink Dagger this game because of the fact that there is a Naga setup. Yeah. But this just gets scarier and scarier for Fnatic, because Z-Freak's not going to slow down his farm. He's going to have BKB. He could even go Refresher afterwards and just do a double black hole on like 2 people. He could grab an Aghanims and have a double Midnight Pulse. That's 5% of your max HP times 2. That's 10% per second. And Black Hole does a lot, so you're guaranteeing like half of everybody's HP and the Black Hole goes away just from Enigma alone. Like, that is amazing, and I feel like that might be worth getting here.
You know, I'm so glad they changed Black Hole to just be consistent damage per second now, rather than the way it used to be, where you took more damage the closer you were. It made sense conceptually. Once you cross that event horizon, that you're closer to the hole, you take more damage, but this just makes more sense, I think, with the way the heroes play.
Yeah, it's like, well, I'd rather catch as many people as possible rather than do like slightly more damage to one guy. Yeah. So BKB now for Dragon Knight, a very common item build for this hero. He really needs magic immunity at some point. He's already tanky, just needs to reduce the magic damage done to him. So he also, the only thing scary about this though is that now if there's a Naga sleep, he won't be affected from it, which is good and bad. He's trying to kill the Naga, it's a very good thing. He's actually going to initiate on here, has to pop his BKB. Will he black hole this? Oh, they Walrus punch it. They don't have to black hole it.
They're going to continue going on here. Now the Stampede gets forced out. They won't kill Mushi here, but Complexity have to be happy with that. Stampede on cooldown for the next minute. Not the biggest cooldown, but a 10-second BKB used as defensively as possible there. That's good news.
Yeah, it really is. You could just go for the push now. They didn't commit anything to that. I mean, they maybe could have just black holed it, but that was only going to waste some of the BKB duration. I think that was by far the better play there. Good play from Z-Freak not to go for that impulse.
And now it's on cooldown for a minute. That's the other drawback to that 10-second charge. It has a pretty lengthy cooldown there, so they'll be able to siege this tower, and they know that the Dragon Knight can't really fight, or at least doesn't want to. Split pushing up top. Gyrocopter does have a TP scroll.
They don't have vision. Gale misses as well.
Okay, good use of the Glimmer Cape there from the Crystal Maiden. Kenshi Gimba now blocked out by the Ice Shards. Moonmeander coming in. He wants that Walrus punch, but he can't quite get his hook on that Crystal Maiden. Now Ohio comes in. Song of the Siren to interrupt it.
They can grab 2. Looks like supports. It's a BKB a little early.
Going 3. He gets 2. Call down, but it's just not going to matter. Both Kenshi Gimba and Johnny evaporate inside the event horizon. Now Mushi trying to run for it in the Elder Dragon form. His BKB still on cooldown from earlier. He'll stand his ground. It's the end of the Aegis, but now Z-Freak on the run, still alive, but the homing missile trying to chase him down. Swindle, as well as Z-Freak and Fly, all taken out by the Gyro Centaur combo. It ends up being a much better fight for Fnatic than it's at the beginning.
Yeah, that was so good for them, considering how that started, like with the Black Hole setup. I think the reason it went well is because those were just supports. You know, they didn't get a Tombstone or a Flesh Golem off or any of CM's abilities, but they got to initiate with Centaur. He got to Stampede.
Did have to buy back, though. That is one key thing there.
That makes a lot of sense, because I felt like he initiated multiple times, and that was why.
Yeah, it was pretty chaotic, so I did miss the buyback during the fight. So that does tip the scales a little bit. Still a great fight for Fnatic, but Complexity pretty comfortable here. Got it. All right, just a point booster and cargo, but still a little bit extra gold for the team. Not too shabby. BKB also on the way for Razor, only about 500 gold off.
That was a really nice snipe. How did you even see that?
I think he just got lucky, didn't he? I think he was just rotating over that way. No, there's nothing that he bought from the side shop.
I'm awfully surprised about that.
They have absolutely no vision here.
And his positioning and his movement, he didn't go there buy something. He actually just shifted over. Maybe he was anticipating it, like they win a team fight, they're going to go buy something from the secret shop. So I'm going to, if so, that is like a super next level play out of Razor. That was...
Z-Freak, walks right into him. That'll be the end of the Enigma. Not much you can do there. Black Hole still on cooldown for another minute and a half. Smart play from Fnatic to try and make the most of this opportunity. While Complexity will have their big ultimate on cooldown. Song of the Siren coming up, as well as that Poison Nova. Pretty long cooldown until you get level 16. 2 minutes. Wow, it goes from 120 to 60.
Yeah.
That is quite
getting that 16 is so important.
Yeah.
Oh, they blink forward, going on Swindle Mounts.
Here we go. Great Glimmer Cape in as well. That's a pretty good call down. Connects on all 4. Song of the Siren from Fly will reset. They get the Tombstone now. Midnight Pulse comes down. He's going to make this happen. Swindle does have his ultimate, but can he actually get it off? There we go. Complexity taking a good fight here. They're just destroying Fnatic. Only one left alive, and just for a matter of seconds. It's a 1-for-5 exchange. Fnatic going way too deep in the base. Complexity didn't even need the black hole to make that happen.
They played that fight really well. They got so grouped. They tried to get the kill, but it didn't happen, and then, bam, Midnight Pulse, basically. That was just a BKB Midnight Pulse, and it was threatening as well. You never really know if the hole's going to come, and then they panic a little bit. The Midnight Pulse with the snowball, it was like just as good as the black hole. It made everybody confused. It cut their retreat path with the ice shards. Like, the synergy and Complexity's draft here is so good. They took the one hero that's arguably very overpowered right now with the Naga Siren, and they fit it into all these other heroes and roles that nobody else has played. Everyone else was doing like Naga Siren Quap combos, which is good, but it doesn't have the teamfight potential of Tuskar with an Enigma.
Fly scouts out this triple stack of agents here on the side of Fnatic, pings it out right away and says, hey guys, maybe we should take this out while they've got a few people dead, steal some of that farm, and Ziz will come over and clean it up. Desolator now on Moon Meander's Tusk. An item you see pop out on Tusk every so often, though somewhat of a rarity. You'll see like Glimmer Cape, Blink Dagger, mobility tools more often.
Shadow Blade sometimes.
Yeah, Shadow Blade as well. But I like the Deso here. I think it's pretty good on Tusk and makes him much more of a threat. He can focus the weak ones in the backline, the Crystal Maiden, or even the Undying, who's pretty low on armor. It's
good against all of them, you know? Like, it helps you one-shot the Crystal Maiden, but it also helps you do a lot more damage to the Dragon Knight and also kill heroes like Centaur Warrunner, because they already do have some other minus armor, and it's coming from Razor, so I think it's a nice little item. Maybe a BKB would be better here, because their combo is all about doing song stuff, but with the same thing, you don't want to put everything all into those team fights, because otherwise you see situations like just happened, where your opponents might actually get a Rex on you after you use your, as you do a good team fight.
Yeah, Swindle just desperately trying to get level 16 before the next fight breaks out, partially for the cooldown reduction, but mostly for that damage. I think a Veil of Discord may be on the horizon for him, and that's when Veno has Ags, Veil, and level 16, there's this window of just how do you deal with that damage, especially if you don't have a pipe. It's just insane.
Yeah, you get BKBs, but as the game goes on, you've only got 5 seconds, and you still do a huge amount. So Melons needs to stay alive in this team fight, though, because he's consistently not hitting level 16, and it's massively reducing his damage and also putting his ultimate on cooldown for much longer than it needs to be.
Yeah, Poison Nova lasts for 16 seconds at level 3 when it's upgraded. Relative to a 5 or 6 second BKB, it mitigates a little bit of the damage, but
it's like not 250 damage mitigated or something, 400 damage
good.
Mitigated. It's something, but it's not that much. And like you said, the Veil combo is very good. I don't know if they want to Veil this game. I would almost rather see him get a different item.
Blink Dagger also pretty common. You can get in and kind of kamikaze your Poison Nova.
Yeah, I would rather he does Blink instead immediately afterwards. Veil is definitely a possibility, but he might want to wait a bit longer until the BKBs get lower cooldown. I think that might be the better solution.
Yeah,
because there's not that much other magic damage coming out of his team. Some from Tusk, a little bit from Razor, but it's mostly just himself.
Well, there's the Blink, so there you go.
Yeah, definitely the better item at this point, because now he doesn't have to worry about getting initiated on. He can just position better, and he can just jump in and dunk him with poison. He's 16 now, so it's party time.
Absolutely. Sweet 16.
They saw Moon blink in aggressively, but I don't think they want to fight.
You know, one of the best ways to deal with the core Venom like this is actually Rubik. The null field makes a really big difference about against the Poison Nova. When Venom was getting picked up a lot, you saw a lot more Rubik picks, and part of why it was such a smart 5th pick here.
I think that it's a good point. They still want these other supports, though. I mean, I don't think they really got that much value of Undying, to be honest. Especially, like, the Naga just counters them so well. Like, that last fight was just so good for Complexity. They countered all of their Radiant abilities by Naga sleeping.
Yeah. And now Complexity secure a free Tier 2 tower in the bottom lane. Fnatic pull them back by pressuring the mid-Tier 3, but as soon as they see TPs, they hightail it out of there, not really looking to take a fight. Z-Freak still farming pretty well, nearing about 2,000 gold after the BKB mech. Kind of curious where he'll go next, if it's the Ags, if it's the Refresher, or if he just decides, you know what, I want a positioning tool as well, even though I don't really need it. It is luxury and makes my life a little easier. I still think I like the Ags best of all those choices, honestly. The Midnight Pulse is...
It's very all into their combo, though, and if it goes like that first sleep down by the Radiant base, then you only catch supports and it's a complete waste. If you catch cores, man, Ags is the best, especially against a Centaur, but it's kind of all in. It does give him a lot of HP, like 400 HP, that's pretty cool, and the stats are good for the Refresher afterwards, but it's not a terrible thing just to buy a Blink, and he does go for it.
Okay.
I like the Centaur Axe, that's really smart. That's one solution versus this combo, because if he doesn't get caught in the black hole, he can just reduce the damage his team takes by 60% for up to 3.75 seconds. That's an entire black hole.
And that
That's
also
amazing.
helps against the ultimate from Veno. It's a small chunk, 4 seconds out of the 16, but still, that's 25% of the time where you're mitigating a fair bit of damage after the Poison Novas come out. I think this is a little bit of an underrated item on Centaur, honestly. I've asked a lot of folks about it, and it just feels underwhelming, but it's situationally very strong. Yeah.
If you're against a very obvious combo from your opponents, as Complexity have, I think it's a really smart pickup. I'm even thinking maybe is it worth it getting Refresher, because the amount of damage that they can block when that Stampede is up is amazing.
Yeah, it really is. So both teams hitting some peaks on their power curves now. This next team fight will most certainly be explosive. All the ultimates available, and it is Fnatic that will take the more aggressive posture here, moving in towards the tier 3 in the mid lane. Roshan is up. This is Rosh number 2. So the winner of this next fight will most likely get to claim the big boy in the pit.
They may get spotted by Veno wards. I don't think they're going to cross past the vision. If they put a high ground ward, they're going to see Veno, and he just might die. Oh, and they can also run over cliffs here, so being in the Roche pit is actually not a big loss for Fnatic.
This Dire vision right here. Maybe Fnatic trying to bait this out. Dire absolutely see it. They know exactly what's going on. Naga Illusion walks into the pit. This is Dire vision we're looking at here, folks. They've got great intel on all the movements of Fnatic, and they will retreat straight away.
They get Mushi.
All right, just harassing Mushi here, but similarly, Complexity do not have much intel once they get to the high ground, and they're not going to chase for that.
Yeah, they're just trying to scare him, so no BKB popped, and Fnatic goes to their side of the map.
There's the Veil on the Venomancer, so he did go Blink Veil. Swindle very scary at this point.
The Veil increased damage is actually so much, though. It's like 25% essentially of the damage that you're losing in the first place. It doesn't quite stack. I think it's a little bit less than 25% when you do the math, but it is a lot of damage.
Yep. It certainly is.
The buff lasts a long time, too. Like,
that was the most recent buff to it, right? That it now lasts a lot longer.
It lasts 16 seconds out of the 20, and I think if you cast it before BKB, it stays during the BKB. Obviously, in most cases, you don't take that damage, but then your BKB runs out, and the poison continues as well.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So Fnatic, they still want to stay aggressive here. They're going to try to push this tier 2 in the bottom lane. Dire have a glyph, and they are ready to make a hold. Johnny and Mushi.
Did they see him? They see him now. They have a gem.
Yep. Oh, yeah, it's on the Naga as well.
I know the ward. Oh my god, he can hit it from the low ground. What the heck?
What? Well, that's a little wild.
He was confused too. He's like, whoa, I can hit that? That's not normal. But I guess
definitely not normal.
It was close enough to the left side. Apparently, you can stand right there.
Okay.
Like every melee hero has a very short range, so if it happens to be within range, then you can get it. But that was the one rare time when it's close enough to the edge that he grabbed it.
Yeah. Oh, Mushi's picked up an armlet now, but he gets
They
caught.
did everything.
They hit him with everything. The Stampede will mitigate some damage. They have any way to interrupt this? They do. Walrus punches there, and Mushi ends up in the grave, down for 60 seconds without a buyback. Complexity march right into the Roche pit after that pick.
Yeah, I think he was dead no matter what, I guess. I was like, is he going to BKB? Almost for sure, but his team was so far gone. He was way out of position. And
now there's no way they can contest this. Not only with Mushi dead, but also the Stampede down.
Oh, they got Ohio as well.
No, the Malefice interrupts it, and this is definitely a dead Centaur. Can they even get another one here? Kevin was nearby, but they've got the gem. Glimmer Cape not going to save you. Fnatic just crumbling all of a sudden.
They really are. They pick up a Shiva's on the Razor. That could have been an AC. I'm a little unsure about that, but I guess the damage potential of Fnatic is honestly not very good either. So the Shiva's gives them AoE damage. That's another cool thing. They can combo that with the Complexity. It'll keep people in the Midnight Pulse. And just a lot of armor, and since their damage is weak, I think it's a pretty interesting choice. It is occasionally a pickup on Razor over Shiva's, and it's not like they're going all in on minus armor, so it doesn't have to go AC here. But definitely an interesting choice.
It does synergize okay with the Veil. It does magic damage, so it does get buffed up a little bit. Some minor things here. Johnny initiated on by Moon Meander. That'll be a nice solo kill for the Tusk, and part of the power of that Deso. Also, he's got a plate mail, so perhaps the Tusk will be the one to get the AC. So
yeah, and he's already got the Deso, so yeah. I love that Moon Meander's just looking for kills right now, though. That's really good. He does punch it. He's got snowball. Oh, he doesn't get off.
Needs to be a little careful against KYXY here. He is running low on mana.
Oh, he could actually just very easily die. He's going to have to wait. He'll blink out afterwards. Oh, he went to the creep. That's smart.
Well played. Okay, he interrupts the TP, though, so that's something. Keeps the gyro a little more out of position. Ziz maybe in some trouble here, but pops the BKB. Ohio now uses the Stampede to try and disengage, but Ziz maintains the static link.
He's so
200 damage. Oh my gosh. He is not afraid at all, Purge. He's hitting for 350.
He's like, I use my BKB, I'm gonna get something out of this, I'm gonna make you guys run away. And they end up popping the Centaur ulti out of it. So that was an aggressive play, and it worked.
Well, now he just goes right into Ancients. He says, hey, thanks for all the damage, boy. Nice Ancient stack you got there. He'll clear up most, he'll leave that big Ancient Dragon, but still getting some good intel.
So it looks like Naga's finishing the Ags, and this is actually the one time that I feel like Ags is good. Like, I've seen it built by other Naga signs, but I was like, that's just kind of unnecessary. But this game, think how many times they start off the fight with a lot of complexity losing their HP.
Or even just when the call down happens at the beginning of the fight, they use Song of the Siren to reset, but the call down still do damage.
It does like
this
600.
Completely nullifies that.
Yeah.
You can just regen through all of it.
Yeah, I think it's actually a really good pickup here because Fnatic's trying to team fight through this by they're initiating first, they're not letting complexity go first, and this item completely will counteract that. Assuming he uses it at the right time, but Fly is reading these team fights perfectly, consistently. And
Absolutely.
it's so hard to do while you're also playing the game.
KYXY now has a Demon Edge, probably an MKB, but I mean, Fnatic's not really in a great spot in this game. They're 14k net worth behind, nearly 14k XP.
I could see Rapier.
He could be in Rapier territory here, yeah. They're getting close to that all-in type play. They still have all their barracks standing, but
there's the smoke on some of Complexity. They're not all here, though, Z-Freak, but he's got a BOT, so he can be there if he needs to.
Yep.
No creep waves really in a good spot right now. All the creeps are going to die, so Z-Freak's going to be late, and they're looking to initiate.
Here we go. Ziz goes in first, but he does get counter-initiated on. Will pop his BKB, now goes straight on to KYXY. He'll BKB as well, but still some damage going the way of Razor. There's the call down, connects basically just on Ziz, but he's got the BKB on. Stampede's been used, but there's just nothing this Gyro can do. He'll be isolated. They also finish off the Crystal Maiden with a Walrus Punch. Now Mushi, he'll BKB a little bit late. Ohio comes in, big damage onto all of Complexity, but they just can't finish him off. Ziz barely lives on a handful of hit points. Ooh. Johnny will finish him off with the GG call before the fight's even over. Fnatic know that there's just nothing they can do here. Fly will ult for good measure. Black Hole as well. Complexity on an absolute rampage right now, going 4-0 their day. They just needed to go 1-1 in both these series to secure the top 4, but they came to impress, and boy, did they.
Man, I'm just thinking of that time, that video of their TI qualifiers game where they ended up doing the refresher Aghanims Warlock, and I just know these guys are pumped right now because what a strong showing going into the end of their group stage. Like, they showed up, they qualified convincingly, but every time you see the qualifiers happen, you're like,